In today's letter, we're going to go over the compounding effect of conflict, and in particular, conflict that's not resolved, and understanding how this impacts your heart and how, when you're having moments of regular conflict where your sense of self is on the line or being threatened, whether that was growing up or teenage years, early 20s, or wherever you find yourself currently, and also in past relationships and perhaps your current relationship also, is if you're living in that zone, that trench warfare, I call it, of not quite knowing when there's going to be an outburst, what's the other person's mood like, are there emotional ups and downs, you are going to be on your toes, you're going to be on that alert, and there's going to be a constant background level of threat, and that is a very difficult environment to live in, and it puts you into a stress response versus a loving response. So you're not going to be in your heart and all compassionate and empathetic. You're going to be more alert and vigilant as to what your environment is telling you to help keep you safe. In your relationship, if you're having regular conflict that does not get resolved, meaning you have an argument or a point to get across, and perhaps you do voice that even, and the other person cannot really fully hear you, or perhaps they do try, but you walk away still feeling like things aren't quite completed, what happens to that? That just gets banked away into that part of your heart that, has memory, and it compounds and it gets more. And as you have more and more of all of these experiences of feeling threatened, of being in a place of constant awareness of your environment and being unresolved in your conflict, I've seen so many women unfortunately becoming numb and unavailable to really be more open-hearted in their relationship, understandably. So I guess today's letter is more of one of creating an awareness in and around this compounding effect. And it's all about, in my experience, getting in touch with one's feelings again. In other words, if we were to write down the person's name that we're upset with, and just go and write down everything that we're angry about and everything that we're sad about them, everything that we're afraid of, or perhaps we regret or have shame about, maybe that we are disappointed in. This really helps us just to decompress the heart, to regulate it back into harmony, where we can get in touch with those feelings again, even though someone has not met us in a proper repair or resolution in the relationship, or somebody hasn't come to us from our past to hurt us and abused us and asked for forgiveness. These opportunities don't often happen, but what is in your control is, of course, how you regulate your own heart, and it's through your feelings. And this is, again, I would say, why the letter's here today, is to remind you, get in touch with your feelings, be in a safe space where you can express and express and express. And of course, the more you express, the more you're going to need to express, perhaps. So that's why I reach out to, a caregiver, perhaps myself or anybody that you trust that can contain these experiences and help you to come back to a greater and a stronger sense of yourself once again. So be aware of that compounding effect in your heart and how it may be impacting how you relate to your partner. If you're finding yourself avoiding a lot and being numb and exhausted and just wanting space and moving away from the person or the situation, this potentially is what could be happening for you. Your heart could be compounded with too much conflict. Thank you for being here in this lesson today and for helping, again, create awareness on these topics. Please see the links if there's any need to contact and be supported. Otherwise, all the best, and may your heart stay open and see more of the light.